This is the story of the evolution of a piece called Nature Library, a commission I recently completed for a newly built healthcare facility. Every day, hundreds if not thousands of books arrive at the local recycling center. Books on all different subjects and in all different conditions. This is the raw material from which I make my art. There's so many different kinds of books, and they all end up in this big bin. People bring books and dump them in, and then there's kind of a free-for-all where people grab what they want. I'm looking for old books and books with really cool covers and silkscreen covers and kids' books, and I rarely come home without at least one box of books, sometimes more than one. I come back, I survey the catch of the day, and then I start stripping off the covers, peeling back the covers. Sorting them by color. Tracing the outlines of the petals using a template that I have made with my trusty studio assistant Chula on my lap. Parts of photographs are really interesting because they become abstract. Fragments of anything become really interesting because they are decontextualized and look really different than the whole. Sometimes the fragment is better than the whole. Then I cut out around where I've traced. I sort according to color. I sort according to size. In this particular piece there are 4 different flower sizes. I choose which ones go with which other ones. Since this piece is a 2-sided piece, I try to keep the blues and greens together, the cool colors together, and the warm colors together because I know that it has to work visually from both sides. I glue the petals together. When I arrange the different colors, I make a whole bunch of petals, not knowing what's going to go with what else. I just make a whole bunch of blues and greens and oranges and yellows, and then I start arranging them. And what I look for are colors that work well together. Nothing is jarring, nothing sticks out too much. I look for a mixture of patterns and solids so that there are areas of rest and it's not just a whole bunch of patterns clashing with each other. It's a very intuitive process where I just put them down, I take them away, I choose another one until I get a configuration that pleases me. I trim the petals because they don't all exactly fit the front and the back together, so there's one side that overlaps a little bit, so I then trim off the excess to make them even. With the help of my trusty terrier Austin, who is very helpful, especially when licking is needed, I continue to trim the petals. After the petals are trimmed, I stitch around the perimeter of each petal, around 1/4 inch in from the edge. This gives the petal a finished look. I use a variegated green thread typically. I don't measure and draw a line where I'm supposed to be stitching. I just kind of wing it so it has an uneven quality, which I like because it shows that it's handmade and each petal is different from the others. Once I stitch around the perimeter, I fold the petals and crease about 2 inches from the edge, which I then stitch to create a three-dimensional effect. Once I have sewn all of the petals on the machine, I then join them together to form the flowers, and this part I do by hand, using a heavy-duty thread and going through the edges of the flowers several times to make them solidly attached to each other. Sometimes it's a little tricky to get them all aligned with each other. The final step in making the flowers is to sew a button in the center of each flower, one on each side. Once the buttons are stitched onto both sides of the flowers, I then begin the process of arranging the flowers according to shape and color and overall aesthetic. This process takes quite a while as I put something down and then take it away and put another one and substitute and rearrange until finally the whole piece, which measures approximately 5 feet high by 10 feet wide, works as a cohesive whole. I have faith that the back side is going to work too, because I have paired colors front and back to work with each other. But it isn't until the piece is stitched together that I get to see what the back side looks like.
The flowers are connected with cloth-covered wire, which I run through the sewing machine using a zigzag stitch.
Finally, the petals are joined together with wire. And I add a little dot of glue to the ends of the wire, a process which is probably not necessary but gives me peace of mind. When I look at the piece, it makes me feel happy, and I hope that others feel the same way. I hope that it contributes to a feeling of well-being and hope for people in a situation that is sometimes stressful and anxiety-producing, waiting to see their doctor. I also hope that it's visually interesting for people to discover bits of text and imagery and the sources of all of the books that I used in the making of the piece.